Sahana vavatu Sahana bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our study be brilliant and may we not cavil at each other. Om, peace, peace, peace unto us all. Dear brothers and sisters, loving Sai Ram to all of you. We welcome all of you for the online satsang of the Sri Sathya Sai Baba Center of Arcadia. So we are starting the study guide for Guru Poornima today. I know last 2 weeks was heavy stuff for people, which is about Brahma Sutra, Sutra Vahini, which is one of the important scriptures of the Prasthana Trayam. So today, which is beautiful nectarine words of our Lord Sai, we will be doing. So in this coming few weeks, in preparation for Guru Poornima, which we will be celebrating on July 24th, we will be doing the study circle on this study guide for Guru Poornima. Hope all of you have received. We sent it to you both on Monday and today, and you can go online and look at it, or you can print it and keep a hard copy in front, which I like to do, so just we can see it. But if you want to go green, you can see on your tablet or iPhone or a smartphone. So this particular one is called 9 gems because they are the Navaratna Mala. These are the represent the 9 types of devotion, because in Bhagavatam, and Swami always talked about it, starting with Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Padasevanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. So these are 9 types of devotion. That is why this is Swami. This is why he always used to give devotees sometimes Navaratna ring, the ring with the 9 stones. This is not just for that, and this represents. And even Shidi Avatar also he was very fond. Just before he took the Mahasamadhi, there is a devotee by name Lakshmi Bai Sinde. So Baba, just because she served him so much, so he gave her 9 coins, first 5 and then 4, which total of 9, representing 9 types of devotion. So 9 is a very important. Also 9 is called Brahma Sankhya. It never diminishes. 9 you multiplied by 9 is 81. 9 multiplied by 2. And so that is why it is never diminishing. That like God is change, never changes, changeless. So that is why 9 represents. These are the 9 gems we'll be discussing. So first Anupam will read the foreword, and we have total of 9 letters. So we'll try to cover this in this coming few weeks. So we'll do it slowly, because even though they are small letters, they are very profound, because they are written to the devotees, to the students, teachers, and sincere spiritual seekers. So it is the essence, very practical Vedanta. That is what is the beauty about it. So please go ahead, Anupam.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy. Sai Ram, brothers and sisters. We'll start with the foreword. If any of you have any questions or you'd like to ask something, please put it in the chat or Q&A, and we'll try to address it. Foreword. We are blessed and fortunate to have received the divine love, grace and blessings of our Guru and God, Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, who is the universal teacher, divine teacher, and teacher of teachers, who has shown us the goal of life and the way to attain it to the path of love and service. His every word is a mantra, and his writings are the essence of all scriptures. In his infinite love and grace, he has given us a treasure house of knowledge through his divine discourses and writings in the form of Vahinis, practicing which our life will be redeemed. His discourses, writings, and conversations, as well as his exemplary life, are unparalleled in human history, both with respect to their content and their efficacy in transforming countless lives for the better. This study guide in preparation for the Guru Poornima celebrations presents selected letters of Swami which he has written to the devotees, his students, teachers, and spiritual seekers, guiding them in various aspects of life. We are very happy to share 9 letters which are precious gems, giving us guidance on various spiritual practices like Namaswarana, the path of knowledge, meditation, and surrender to lead us to the goal that we are divine and everything is Brahman. Let us dive deep into these words of our beloved Lord Sai and enjoy peace and bliss therefrom. You read the first one.
Yeah, so just this is very important. Just as I want to add few words, so the purpose of life is to have peace and bliss. That is what these letters show. That is why we said. So to realize, once we realize that we are Brahman, that is what the whole thing Swami talks about, then we will have peace and bliss, because that is what we are. Swami says we are Ananda Swarupa. But it is very difficult if you want to go and read the scriptures, 4 Vedas, 18 Puranas, and Vedangas. So lifetime won't be enough to do that. That is why Lord Krishna was so compassionate. Upanishads, 108 Upanishads, of them 10 are major Upanishads. And Lord Krishna, what did he do? Took the whole Upanishads, essence of the Upanishads, as they beautifully described. Whole Upanishads are compared to a cow, and the milkman was the one who was Lord Krishna, and brought the essence of milk and gave it to us for our nourishment. Because Upanishads, each one you read, it is a vast, and for us to pick up some few things here and there. Whereas he put all those wonderful ideas in one place in Bhagavad Gita and made it easy for us. Whereas our Swami is even wonderful. He took all the scriptures, every scripture possible, took the essence and put it. That is why we said every word of his is a mantra, every sentence is a sutra. So, and every conversation is a Gita, and every discourse is a Veda. That is why it is, so we see so many Gitas. Bhagavad Gita is, whenever you talk about Gita, Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna, Lord Krishna gave it to Arjuna. But similarly, there are many Gitas, and Lord Krishna gave it to Uddhava, as Uddhava Gita. Then this is Vashishta Gita, where Vashishta gave to Rama. And here we have this, and there's Avadhuta Gita, where the Avadhuta Dattatreya gave the song of the Sannyasin, or the 3 souls liberated. So here Swami is giving us Sai Gita. Sai Gita is also, Swami's elephant is called Sai Gita. Anyway, it is a evolved soul, and Swami says it won't be born again. But the Sai Gita is the essence, the word of the Lord Sai, the nectarine words. So every word, even though it looks small letters, will go one by one. It is very concentrated, like concentrated milk. You have got basundi or that halwa, just to digest, to take word, you need to contemplate and digest, so to derive spiritual nourishment. Okay, go ahead, first letter.
So first letter, letter 1. Within you is the real happiness. You as body, mind or soul are a dream, but what you really are is existence, knowledge, bliss. You are the God of this universe. You are creating the whole universe and drawing it in. To gain the infinite universal individuality, the miserable little prison individuality must go. Bhakti is no crying or any negative condition. It is saying of all in all we see. It is the heart that reaches the goal. Follow the heart. A pure heart seeks beyond the intellect. It gets inspired. Whatever we do reacts upon us. If we do good, we shall have happiness, and if evil, unhappiness. Within you is the real happiness. Within you is the mighty ocean of nectar divine. Seek it within you. Feel it, feel it. It is here, the self. It is not the body, the mind, the intellect, the brain. It is not the desire of the desiring. It is not the object of desire. Above all these, you are. All these are simply manifestations. You appear as the smiling flower, as the twinkling stars. What is there in the world which can make you desire anything? With blessings, Baba. Letter given to a group of devotees from USA, first published in Sanatana Sarathi, 1973. So, quick comment, Dr. Reddy, is that one of the beauties I find of Swami's letters are that they're so short, but they're packed with messages that we can use in our practical lives. For example, the first message, that we are Satchidananda, is the essence of the major Upanishads, that we are God. But how do we get there? That is the question. And Swami gives us advice how to do good, how to follow the heart, and how to seek our guidance from within, not from outside. And if we can just follow those things, like one of the sadhanas we had recently was to tell ourselves that I am the God, I am infinite supreme, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect. And so if we can follow Swami's advice and look within, and then we can transform ourselves. That is the real goal. It's not from the head, it's not from our brains, but it comes from within. So those are some quick reflections. Sairam.
Sairam, thank you. Because actually, if you go dive deep into this letter, Swami touches it, many aspects of our spiritual practices. In the beginning, that is the highest, that is the last word, that is to realize that we are divine. We are not the body, we are not the mind, we are not the intellect, and we are not the brain. Even later on he talks about. Because most of the time we identify with that. Somebody says, oh, you are handsome, or you are not doing well, or you are not. So just we take it, because that means with that time we are identifying with the body. So that, and then mind. So somebody praises you, blames you. That is the mind which is reflecting. Same thing with the intellect and the brain. So all these are just an instrument. Somehow, because of our lifetime of our vasanas, we identify we are that. So the whole thing is we need to undo that identification. That is the whole spiritual practice, is undo that we think, because Lord Krishna says in Gita, Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan praparjate Vasudeva sarvamiti sammahatma sudurlabha. Because many lifetimes we have been thinking we are this body. It's not easy one time. That's why you have to go on, repeat. Swami said so many times you are not. He said, oh, same old thing you are telling, because this is what the problem is. In spite of so many lifetimes we thought we are that. To undo, you have to repeat. That's why we are talking about in the Chandogya Upanishads, in Samveda, the Guru tells Tattvamasi. You can just say Tattvamasi, you are that. Tat, Tvam, Asi, you are that. You can tell one time, that is enough. But the disciple is a very smart guy. But still, the Guru tells 9 times. If you go to there, Tattvamasi, 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 9 times, to show how the repetition is important. Same thing, if you go to Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, so much Kamini Kanchana, every few pages. So that will be, I was reading with my grandchildren, they was telling, oh, grandpa, every time he talks about, because he knows that is the pitfall for a spiritual seeker, the lust and greed, people, because that are the obstacles when you are progressing. So in spirituality, you need to repeat. So Swami is telling, we are divine. That is the first thing. You are God, you are not this body, mind and intellect. So we all need to assert our Godhead. What is that? That is Satchidananda. Because in the whole universe there are only 5 things. Satchit, Ananda, Nama, Rupa are also called Asti, Bhati, Priyam and Nama, Rupa. So this Nama and Rupa, name and form, we see everything. This table has a name and form, this chair and any object we see in the world that has got a persons, animals, plants, everything has a shape, name and form. But anything name and form, we need to remember they are temporary, they are unreal. That is the stage yadrushyam tanashyam. Whatever you see, that will disappear one day. It's a question of time. Even the bodies of the avatars, we saw that Shri Baba, Sathya Sai, Rama, Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, everybody comes and goes, and we too come and go. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu. That is what Lord Krishna says. Anything which is born, even the insect, animal, plant, humans, once it is born, the law is it will go away one day. Just question of time. So that is the Nama and Rupa. But this Asti Bhati Priyam, Satchidananda, that is knowledge, existence and bliss, that is permanent. That is why in Taittiriya Upanishad the Guru tells the closest to God is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. So that is why we think we are knowledge, existence and bliss. You can see why we are always. Knowledge means we always want to know more. A child, you ask, what is this? What is this? Curious. You want to know more and more because our very nature is to know more. But that ultimate knowledge is only knowledge of the God, which is the ultimate. Till then, we won't be happy. Second thing is consciousness. And we think we are always existing because the body doesn't exist always, but as consciousness, we always exist. There was a beautiful story of, I think it was Bertrand Russell or something. He was going with his grandson near the in London, and he saw the London Bridge. He asked, Grandpa, when was the London Bridge built? He told so many years ago. So where was I at that time? No, you were not there, because he was a little boy. No, I must be there. That shows instinctively we think we are always there and we will be there. We don't feel we die, because that is our true nature. We are not going to die. What dies is the body. We think we were there and we feel that we are there. That is the consciousness. And third thing is bliss. We always, everybody, including even ants, birds, bees, everybody wants in such a happiness, right? That is the whole thing is, because our very nature is happiness, but we go in the search of wrong place. So that's so first message is very important. Swami is telling, you are the God of the universe. Such a profound statement. He is telling you are the God of the universe. See that it is. So we need to think. When you think about that, you feel really you are like a king of kings. So you don't need to worry about. Once you are the God of the universe, we have to worry about. But we forget about that. So that is very important. Second thing is, so first there is a ultimate jnana. So that is what? There is a beautifully said in scripture, jnanat evatu kaivalyam. Only by jnana you attain the highest. That is why even Lord Krishna says, jnani atmaiva me matam. There is no difference between jnani and me. Second thing is, so that he talked about highest, about jnana. Next comes bhakti. We think about bhakti, I know it is where you get the tears of joy, tears of viraha. That is okay. But Swami said it is no crying, not a negative. What is bhakti here? Swami gave the definition. It is seeing of all in all we see. In everything, whatever we see, we should be able to see the same God. That is bhakti. Bhakti is, Swami says, is not just singing bhajans and reading the scriptures, but it is seeing God, seeing of all in all. That is why our Lord Krishna again says, Yomam pashyati sarvatra, who sees me everywhere. Sarvancha mai pashyati, who sees me in everything and everything in me. Another place he says, Sarvabhutastameka Atma, Sarvabhutani cha Atmani. He sees me in all beings and all beings in me. So that is the definition. So real bhakti, if we have, like the gopis of the Vrindavan, they could see the Lord Krishna even when they go to walking, they see the tree, they see the creeper around the tree. Oh, it is as if they are with Lord Krishna. They see the sky, the blue, it reminds them of Lord Krishna. The Yamuna river or any sound, flute, everything that reminds the Lord Krishna, because they see in everything nothing but Lord Krishna. That is why there was a beautiful story. There is Narada, one time he sees the gopis at the shore of Yamuna, they were doing meditation. He was wondering why, because I said, oh, what are you meditating on? We are meditating how to forget this Krishna, because we are not able to function, whether we want to eat, we want to drink, we want to serve our in-laws, our husbands. Every time the Lord Krishna comes, for us it's the other way around. We need to remember God, we need to forget, whereas for them they're so absorbed in the Krishna consciousness. And also Swami beautifully tells the story of that girl Suguna, who went to light the lamp at Nanda's house, and she was so absorbed in watching Krishna, she burnt her hand and whole thing she was not aware of, the whole no body consciousness. So bhakti is not to have a bhakti, that means not to have division. So that is another important concept Swami is talking about. Third is the pure heart. That is very important for all the sadhana we do, whether we do service, whether we do bhajan, everything is to develop the pure heart. As we say, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. So everything is chittasya suddhaye karma. Chitta shuddhi is once we have that, and we reach the goal. That is why it says, whenever there is a conflict between the heart and intellect, always follow the heart. That is why even the great intellectual, Swami Vivekananda said, whenever I have a discussion between the heart or intellect, he says, I always follow my heart, because there the Lord resides. So that is very important. So all the sadhana we should see, the pure heart. How do we know we have pure heart? We get rid of all our negative tendencies, the 6 enemies we have, Arishad Vargas, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, that is desire, anger, greed, attachment, pride and jealousy. So it is not easy, but we need to go on practicing. Then only we can really experience God. So there is another important thing. First is about jnana, then talked about bhakti, then the pure heart, which is essential for realization. And next one he talks about the things of law of karma. Whatever we do reacts upon us. If we do good, we shall have happiness. That means as you sow, you reap. In all our scriptures, even Bible says that. All our philosophies, Hindus and any derivatives of Hinduism like Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, all of them believe in this law of karma. That is inexorable, you cannot avoid. So that is why Swami repeatedly says, think good, think no evil, speak good, speak no evil, hear good, hear no evil, because it comes back to you. So that is why it is very important that every time we need to do the self-audit. What are we thinking, what are we saying, what are we doing? So that is why this law of karma. So then once we do that, then says there is no more desire. So once we are doing good things and we have pure heart, bhakti, says everything is you. You are like, what is there to desire? Because you have everything. You are the Lord of the universe. There is nothing to desire. So he sees how beautifully Swami covered just in one letter. It looks like just simple letter, small letter. He talked about the law of karma. He talked about bhakti. And he talked about how important is to have a pure heart, and then ultimately with all these practices you realize the highest truth, that you are Satchidananda, you are the ultimate, you are the Brahman itself. So this is very profound. This is why these are the things to dive deep. You can't just get it like that. We know our thinking and God reveals to you the truth. That is why these are called revelations. So God reveals you contemplate. The same words at different times means say different things to you. This is very beautiful letter. So please go back, contemplate and do that. So
we have a couple of questions, Dr. Reddy. I'll read the first one.
before we go to the next,
Yeah,
okay, good.
before the next one, we have a couple of questions. Number one, we return to earth from time to time due to the bondage of karma, which is caused by our desires and habits. How does one get rid or get out of this bondage of karma?
Yeah, so for people, we talked about it before. I want to, it is worthwhile because we are all involved in karma. So people in thinks wrong idea, oh, this is my karma. That means as if it is destiny. No, karma really means action. What is action? By any three karana, we have three karanas. That means three instruments. What are these? Mind, speech, and body. Body, mind, and speech. So anything you do with anything is karma. So if you think good thoughts, that is good karma. You do negative thoughts, thinking bad about people, critical, judgmental, you are accumulating negative karma. Same thing when you talk sweetly, think about God's name, repeat his name, and talk about his stories, that is good karma. Anything criticizing other people, gossiping, rumors, you are accumulating bad karma. And same thing, whatever you do compassionate deeds, helping people, serving people, that is good karma. And hurting anybody, fortunately most of the devotees I don't think will hit or hurt anybody, so that is bad karma. So anything whichever you have, that is why somebody said 3 C's, constructive thoughts, that is good karma, and consoling words, you console somebody in distress, and then compassionate deeds, whatever you do filled with compassion, that is good karma. So either we have a choice, that is why Swami said, you can do good or you can do bad. But as he said, you can't plant a thorn seed and expect a mango fruit. If you put a thorn seed, you will get thorns. And if you put mango seed, you will get same thing. If you do good, Swami says, you will have happiness. If you do bad, you will have bad results. Then how to get out of it? Oh my God, there is no choice. So if we are going to do, I did, without knowingly, unknowingly, I did some bad thing. That is why there are three karmas: sanchita karma, what we did before, and prarabdha karma, what we have done already started giving effect, and then agami karma, what we do now, it is going to reap in the form. This is the three aspects of karma. Sanchita is what is done before. Prarabdha is what started yielding results. Agami is what going to do. Then how to get rid of this karma? There are three ways described in scriptures, and even Swami talked about it. First is, whatever work we do, we know God is the doer, and the results go to God. That is the whole thing of Lord Krishna saying this whole Gita. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Just do your duty and leave the results to me. Then, whatever good or bad, everything goes to him. That is where somebody else you are putting the burden on, that is in the Lord. So you are not bound. He gave the beautiful example. There is a rope which is going to bind you, but that rope is already burned with fire, then it cannot bind you, right? So because it is all ashes, it looks like a rope, but it cannot. Same thing, the karma can bind you, but the karma, once you have no doership and you give it to God, then the same karma won't bind you. Second thing is, by bhakti, you have so much love for God, Swami, by his grace, God can burn away all that karma. Actually, this personally Swami told me one time. I said, we have any challenges or difficulties going through, Swami, we have to pay for karma. Swami said, no, if my grace is there, mountain load of karma will be just go in an instant. He gave an example like mountain of cotton thing is there, just with one matchstick, you burn it, it goes into ashes. So another is intense love for God, the whole karma is gone. And third thing is jnanagdi dagda karmana. Just you realize what does karma affect? Karma affects body, mind, intellect. It doesn't affect Atma. Atma, nobody can kill, nobody do that. So body, through bad karma, you get sickness, diseases, pain, suffering. Same thing, mind, because of your bad karma, you get mental agitations and problems. So these are all body, mind will be affected. But once you really identify you are the Atman, as I said, you are supreme, what is the question of karma? So that is why it says, Jnanagni Agni, Jnana Agni, that fire of wisdom, Dagda Karmanam Tamahu Panditam Buddha. This is also Lord Krishna. Once you realize that, there is no more karma. So these are the three ways. One is giving up the doership and just dedicating everything to please God. Second is intensely love God for His grace. And third is develop that real Atmic consciousness, in which case the whole jnana, the karma is burnt off. So this is the thing. That is why Swami said karma you have to reap, but he also has shown the way out. So we don't need to get discouraged. We are not.
So, and the second question, Dr. Ed, is related to the actually second point that you mentioned just now. And it is, how do we develop bhakti in a practical sense?
Yeah, so this is very important. Love, Swami said, that is why the first Vahini Swami wrote was Prema Vahini. That is why we always emphasize. And Swami repeatedly said, God is love, love is God, live in love. So the whole life is, it is easy for us because every one of us, there is no human being who doesn't have love. Everybody has love. But love is in a different ways. Somebody loves their children, somebody loves their wife, somebody loves their friends, and even bad people, they may love a lot of money. There will be love for money, love for power, love for name and fame, love for knowledge, love for show off, so many things, but there is love. But the same love you turns toward God. That is bhakti. That's all. That is bhakti is not special. Turns that all this love for these trinkets and trivial things, ephemeral things towards God. That is bhakti. That is love. That love, real love. That is why we have our theme also. One of our conferences, world conference was love is the source. Who is the source? God is the source. And love is the path, because that is through the path. And love is the goal. So just you start beginning to end, it is all love, love, love. But how do you really practice love? Number one, you need the grace. And you see the inspiring stories of so many of these wonderful saints, sages who lived the life saturated with the love of God, like Mirabai, Sordas, Tyagaraja, and many Christians, mystics like Mother Teresa, Saint Teresa of Avila, Brother Lawrence, and same as many Sufi mystics in Islam. There's these lovers of God are there all over. There, the main feature is love for love's sake. So, for that to develop, first we need to see there is God, and we need to develop a relation. You can't think Father, thou art heaven. If you think Him separately, then you don't develop that intimacy. You should feel that God is with you. He's a part of your family. He's like your father, mother, or like your friend, where you can always have conversation with Him. You can have a dialogue with Him. So you need to develop a relationship with Him. That is number one. So number two is the practices, like repeating His name. There is no difference between name, nama, nama, nami are same. They say when you repeat the name, form comes. When you look at the form, name comes. So you need to go on repetition of the name, which is japa, which is time tested. Every religion, theistic religion, they all follow, whether it is Christianity, Islam, Hinduism. Everybody repeats name. Even Buddhists, they say the mantra, Mani Padma Aham. So everybody are chanting these mantras, which is japa, is another way to connect God. Because once you develop that, as Narada Bhakti Sutra says, you will be trupto bhavati, stabdho bhavati. Then you will become very happy. There is nothing you desire because you have the highest gift, which is having the divine love. So the main thing is to develop the relationship with God and do these practices like japa, meditation and listen to the leelas of the Lord. Whenever we listen to that is why Bhagavata Puranam Swami said that even any stories of Lord Krishna, Rama, Ramayana, Siddhi Sacharita, even Swami stories, then you develop that love for God more. It intensifies your love for God. Another way to intensify love for God is satsang, being in the company of people who love God. Because you always talk about it, so people of the same thing, they add like fuel to the fire. So you already have love for God. Being around them, your desire for God goes. If you are around people who don't believe in God, what little love you have, that also gets extinguished. So the company of the God-loving people, satsang, is another important way to develop bhakti. So, yeah, maybe we should go to this another letter. So otherwise,
second letter.
Yeah.
Spiritual hunger. My dear, have you got any spiritual hunger? Spiritual hunger is the ultimate meaning of every activity in life. The dissatisfaction and the restlessness that remain even after obtaining all the necessities of life show that everyone, consciously or unconsciously, does suffer from spiritual hunger, and it is not appeased until the spirit within is realized. Without this divine discontent, there is no real progress. World peace is possible when all the people of the world wake up to the facts governing universal life, and when there is a heart-to-heart feeling of goodness, love, and oneness among the inhabitants of the world. With blessings, Sri Sathya Sai Baba.
Okay, so this one, yeah.
One of the questions, Dr. G, that we have on this one is, how do we develop world peace?
Okay, so there's two things here. First, in the letter itself, two things Swami talks about here. One is spiritual hunger, and second is world peace. So we talked about in the Sutra Vahini last week, there are four, hope everybody remembers that, sadhana chatushtayam. So we should always remember, otherwise we finish and then forget about it. Everything is connected. What is it? Viveka, Vairagya, and Shat Sampatti, and fourth is Mumukshatvam. So spiritual hunger is nothing but Mumukshatvam. That intense longing for God, hunger for God. That is what Swami, when I asked, he said, how do you know bhakti? I asked Swami, he says, if you have Tivra Paritapam, intense longing. That is why even Sri Ramakrishna said, if you have that, automatically be assured you will be able to go to God. That's, you need to develop that hunger. But how to develop that hunger? That is why Adi Shankara says, Manushyatvam, Mumukshatvam, Mahapurusha Samprayam. These things can be got only by God's grace, not by human effort. For example, you have food, you can have food. Okay, I want to be hungry. Can you develop hunger? Hunger, it comes, you cannot, you have no tablets to have hunger or no things. So hunger comes, and that is this natural feeling. Hunger is there. Food you can have, you can eat, but hunger is a gift of God. So hunger, sleep, this natural propensity. So hunger, same thing, hunger for God also, if we have it, the very fact we are all talking about God, we got together, that is a sign of divine grace. That is why Adi Shankara says, Manushyatvam, being born as a human, Mumukshatvam, desire for God and contact with the great soul, this is God's grace. So here, Swami is telling that to have the spiritual hunger. We talked about the spiritual hunger means you should have that intense desire. I don't care for anything else. Like Lord Buddha left everything, went in search of God. You don't need to go that extent, but you need to have that. And Sri Ramakrishna gave a beautiful example, like a guy who is drowning, just push his head down under water, and he's struggling for breath. Oh, I'm going to die. Let me for my last breath. You should have that kind of love for God. Actually, Sri Ramakrishna was an example. He used to rub his face against the earth till it bleeds. Mother, another day is gone. I didn't have your vision. When I can have. So he used to cry a lot. When people said, why I can't see God? He said, people shed jug full of tears for wives, children, money, power, position. Who cries for God? He says, if you cry for God, it will appear. And he showed by he cried and the mother appeared. And you are talking about the peace, world peace also Swami talks about. Everything is pieces. Swami says there is no peace. So how do you get peace? So the world peace, there are two things. First, it starts with the individual. Swami says simply, I want peace. Remove that I, the ego, and second, want, then the desire, then automatically peace comes. And another beautiful saying that we talked about is, when there is righteousness in the heart, there is beauty in character. When there is beauty in character, there is harmony at home. When there is harmony at home, there is order in the nation. When there is order in the nation, there is a peace in the world. So it starts with the individual. So that means we should have a righteousness. We need to live a dharmic life, then everything will go well. So important is the life we lead will lead to the world peace. Okay, we'll conclude here. Okay, Sai Ram.